Salutations friends, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to talk to you guys a little bit about fragrance collecting, and I'm talking to you guys about well-rounded fragrance collections, or what makes a well-rounded fragrance collection. And I figured it might be a fun little topic to talk about, so let's get into it. Now, as always with videos like this, my opinions are my own, but I'd love to know what you guys think. As a fragrance collector, as someone who's constantly selling parts of my collection, adding to my collection, looking for holes in my collection, searching for things, having an extensive wish list, my collection is constantly growing. There's always the question of when is your collection complete? When do you stop? That's a whole other video. That's a kitty making a sound off to the side. But a lot of people, when they're looking to have a fragrance collection, they're looking for a well-rounded fragrance collection. And just the thought of that to me is really interesting because there's a definitive amount of fragrances in the world. I don't know if that's the right word. I'm sorry. It's been a very long few days. There's a certain amount of fragrances in the world, and everyone's idea of having a complete or well-rounded collection can vary a little bit. So my idea of a well-rounded collection is meeting most of the requirements of seasons, so having a nighttime and a daytime fragrance for each season, having just some classics in your collection and some wild cards. Now, these don't have to be full bottles. Again, when I talk about fragrance collecting, you don't have to own a single full bottle. You can own samples or decants or anything like that. It's just how many fragrances can you wear in your collection. So how many decants, how many samples, things like that in regards to your fragrance collection. And for me, a well-rounded collection has a variety of each of those in it. So think for the summer, you have your daytime summer scent and you have your evening summer scent. Or you might have your daytime summer scent to wear more casually, you might have an evening casual scent, or you might have an evening more formal scent. And then you might have a wild card in there that you can wear wherever, you know, who the hell knows. An example of a wild card scent to me would be something that could be worn year round, but you prefer to wear at that season just because there's something about it that you really enjoy. Fall scents to me is where you start to get into those light gourmand scents. So you're going to get ones that are a little bit more toasty, a little bit more warm, sweet and syrupy. And again, you're going to have something for the morning and something for the evening and something maybe that's a little bit more casual or something that's a little bit more more formal. And then at the fall, like a wild card scent might be something that you love to wear in the spring or summer that you just think works well in the fall. And the same can go for winters and spring. And then you might have special event fragrances that you wear specifically on date nights, or scents that have very fond scent memories so that you wear them for special occasions or times that you need a little pickup. I mean, the general idea of a well-rounded collection is so variable and it changes from person to person. But if my opinion was going to be somebody who had a well-rounded collection, obviously they could sell parts of their collection, they could add new fragrances to their collection, but their core collection, like when they think of their collection, like their core scents would be at least 2 scents for each season, as well as a classic scent and a wild card. And that might seem like a lot of scents for somebody. I mean, we're looking at 10 fragrances. And as somebody who has a medium-sized to larger-sized collection within the fragrance community, I can say that for me, that's tiny. But for most people who aren't fragrance collectors, for most people who like to wear all their scents, for most people who like to be able to see the bottle go down and they get a sense of fulfillment when they finish a bottle, or don't like the idea of collecting, that thinks it's wasteful, that thinks just that it's not something, they're more minimalistic, that kind of gives them anxiety when they see more fragrances than they need in their collection. I think a well-rounded collection would probably be between 5 to 10 bottles, depending on the types of scents that you wear, where you wear them, and just generally overall. And I'm talking about collections. I'm not talking about somebody who's an enthusiast. I'm somebody who sits there and thinks, okay, this year I really like this fragrance, but you know what? It didn't perform well in the summer, so I'm going to sell this one and then I'm going to get this one. It doesn't have to be a specific scent. It could be a specific slot in a scent and then having all of those slots filled. So again, 2 slots in spring, 2 slots in summer, 2 slots in winter and 2 slots in fall, 1 classic and 1 wild card. And so that's my thoughts of a well-rounded collection. And I think if you're looking to start collecting fragrances, if you're looking to jump into this money tar pit that is the fragrance collecting journey, it is not cheap. You can definitely, that's a great starting point, is looking at what could be the definition of a well-rounded collection, starting from there and then branching off. Me personally, I like to look for holes in my collection in regards to notes or compositions that I'm lacking. Do I need more violet scents? Do I want a masterpiece of an iris scent in my collection? How am I looking on daytime scents for the winter? How am I looking on evening scents for the summer? I have way too many vanilla scents. I need to sell off these so I can buy this one particular one that I really like. I mean, my collection is constantly growing and changing. I had some medical bills crop up, and you know, I'm selling a decent chunk of my collection right now just to like cover them so I don't have to dip into savings. And I'm gonna repurchase all of them later once, you know, everything's situated. So my collection is constantly, and I mean constantly, in flux. But for the idea that I have my core holy grail scents, like my idea for me personally, my core collection is my holy grail scents, a good amount of grab and go fragrances, and then ones that work in each season. Those are my collections, well-rounded, and it's not complete yet. I still have some masterpieces to add to my collection and things like that. But overall, I think if you're looking to start a fragrance collection or want a good idea of what would be considered a well-rounded collection, I think a very utilitarian approach to that would be good. Is again, scents you could wear each season, something classic, and just kind of like a wild card, something that might make your heart sing, is a little bit different, that you're not usually used to wearing or you would normally add, but you really, really love it. Just like something a little extra or a little special. But anyway, that's my thoughts, my idea of what a well-rounded fragrance collection would be. As always, this is an opinion piece, so I'd love to know what you guys think. What's your definition of a well-rounded collection? Do you think such a thing exists? And do you think you have a well-rounded collection, or are there holes in your collection that you would love to fill to kind of complete it and top it off and be like, yes, I got everything I need? In any case, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you next time. Bye.